Hi, my name is Stevie and I like to write songs. Since starting this channel, I've written 20 songs for the channel, and the time has come this week for me to start prepping all the songs for the final mix and master. So let's not waste time today with an intro, let's just get started. One of my viewers had the very good idea of playing all the songs for you guys so that you can all get your comments in time before the mixing actually starts. So that's what I'll do while I'm prepping all the songs for mix. I'll throw out a quick video of the song as it stands right now as a static mix, and then wait for all you guys to give me your comments and ideas about how I should proceed with mixing it. There's 20 songs, so it'll take quite a lot of time. I'll try and put out a video every time one of these songs is prepped for mix. I'm hoping maybe targeting something like 3 videos a week until we get all 20 done. Be sure to listen carefully to the songs and let me know if you have any ideas about how the instruments should interact. Let's have a look now at what I'm doing. I'm kind of following a process that I used for my last album, Toy Empires. The thing about being everything in the studio, being the mix engineer, being the guitarist, being the singer, being the producer, is that sometimes you can be concentrating on too many things, juggling too many apples at the same time. One of the things that I want to do is try and get away from all the distractions of the instruments and stuff and just be a mix engineer during this phase. So I've sort of closed off my ability here to edit anymore on the instruments because all the amp sims and all the virtual instruments have been rendered. So what we've got now is a project of just stems. So each stem plays with no effects whatsoever on the track. I've kept some of the effects in the project, things that interact with other channels, anything that's got sends, anything that's got side chains. Those things have stayed in the project because we need them to interact with the stems. So I suppose in one way it's a disadvantage and also an advantage that I can no longer go back in and edit these. Of course I can. If there's something really important, I can go back to the original project and I can edit the drums or change the amp sim and re-import it into this project. But the idea is to not really do that and just move forward. I'm no longer the musician on these tracks. I am now the engineer and concentrating 100% on mixing the tracks and how the instruments interact with each other. One of the advantages of doing it this way is that now each individual project takes almost no resources in your DAW. So you can use the tab function in Reaper to open up all the tracks simultaneously. And that way I can be working back and forward. For example, this is Tree of Life. Change tab and now I'm at 12. Rage Circuit Reflex, Dead Man's Fall, Basilica, Nothing Ever Ends, Aspects. So I've got all the tracks all simultaneously open right now. And that means that if I discover a little frequency on the rhythm guitars that I would like to scoop out, then I can very quickly go through to every single project and add that EQ to the guitar stems on that project. And that way we can simultaneously be mixing all the songs at the same time so that they can have a coherent sound to them. Of course, there will eventually come a stage where I can't be mixing in parallel anymore, that certain specific things need to be done to certain songs and only that song. Maybe the vocals need a special treatment in one song and maybe the rhythm guitars need a special treatment in another song. But up until that point, we'll be fully mixing in parallel all the time. If I find a bit of compression that I want to put on the drum overheads, I can put it on all the drum overheads in every song. And that's the way we're going to proceed for now. I've taken care when I've been outputting the stems as well, that I'm using pretty much the same rhythm guitar sound, the same bass guitar sound, and very similar drum sounds, because I think that's the core of our mix, the rhythm guitars, the bass guitar, and the drums. If they have a coherent sound across all the songs, then the songs will sound to be from the same album. So we're looking here at the song Tree of Life. I've output the drums as 4 stems, kick, snare, toms and overheads, and in some songs there's extra one-shot samples. Let's find an example of that. Yeah, so there's an extra track sometimes in the drums that have some one-shot samples in it. Every drum stem group is exactly the same and has exactly the same parallel compression and clipping going on in it. Then the bass guitar is output as a mono stem and it's got track spacer, which is sidechained to the kick drum. All the keyboards have been output as stereo stems. and currently there's absolutely nothing on them, but we will be doing some EQ and stuff to the keyboards as well. The guitars, one of the things with guitars is that 9 times out of 10 I only use LCR panning. So guitars are either stereo or they're panned hard left and right. So some of the guitar tracks are mono, some of the guitar tracks are stereo. They've all currently got nothing on them, but in the guitar bus, I've also got track spacer, and this time track spacer is sidechained to the vocals so that the vocal EQ is carved out of the guitars anytime vocals are singing. With vocals, all the insert effects, the compressions and stuff like that have all been baked into these stem files. We still have a bit of fresh air going on the vocal bus. We'll also be doing some EQ to de-resonate certain frequencies and bring out anything that I think is important on the vocals. And we kept the delay throws so that we can tweak them if necessary. And then there's auxiliary things going on, samples, gongs, creaking doors and stuff, sound effects that are in the tracks. Now what I'm working with at the minute on the 2 out, for my 2-bus compression, I'm using Hitch Comp, which I really like the sound of, and it's really only shaving about 1 dB off the kick and snare, which are the 2 loudest things in my mix. For now I've got fresh air on as well, although it's likely that I'll not be using that, because once I decide what my final EQ is going to be for the 2-bus out, then I might not need it. And this is just here as a placeholder because I will be doing a lot of EQing. I haven't decided if I'm going to use this Nova EQ or if I'm going to use the Tokyo Dawn Mastering EQ. I have both, and I might end up using both. And then, of course, we're getting our loudness from Masterdesk, and that's also monoizing and stereo spreading the overall mix. So that's where the mix setup is right now. By the time I'm finished mixing the tracks, there may be a lot more plugins going on, EQs and saturators and compressors all over the place. And we'll be doing lots of automation as well, pulling out certain vocal lines or tucking guitars away at certain times, or maybe exaggerating the drums for a certain fill and pulling it back. We'll be doing a lot of automation. I'll try and automate almost every track in one way or another. We'll be finding plugins that might enhance the sounds of the keyboards. I'll be trying to nail down a final EQ for the rhythm guitars as well, but maybe doing some spectrum analysis on guitar sounds that I admire from other albums. We'll also be using Magic AB to compare my mix to other mixes. So it'll be an interesting idea if some of you guys could recommend some songs that you think might be good for me to do an EQ comparison on, and maybe try and compare my mix and my EQ levels with some of these pro mixes. So back when I did my very first YouTube video, it was this song, Tree of Life. It went into 5 episodes, and because the song was such a long song, I never actually got around to actually playing a final playthrough of the song. So this will be the first time that we have a final playthrough of the song. I'll try and not speak throughout this playthrough, so that you guys can hear the whole song in its entirety and hear what's happening with this static mix. And let me know about any automation ideas and any mixing ideas that you guys might have, any processes that it would be interesting to look at. So let's sit back and listen to the completed song, Tree of Life. And over the next 20 episodes, which I'm hoping to complete within a month, we'll have a listen through to every single one of the songs as a static mix. And then after that, we'll begin the mixing process on all the songs. So here goes, Tree of Life.
Exalted masterpiece, a strident press release. How was I supposed to know the fire from the smoke, the white from the yolk? In the end, all will see their fate. Standing at the gate, I look you in the eye. I alone have conquered every fear, and as the end draws near, I curse the darkened sky. A time will come when only time survives, and we will never see another sunrise. Run for your life while you still got time. Plan your escape while the lights are still on you. Hold the course, set your sights beyond your reach, for the story's just begun.
Right, I think I was pretty spot on when I first called that series writing an epic prog metal song, because that is an epic prog metal song. So guys, my request for you is think of songs that would be good songs for me to use as templates in my Magic AB for doing comparisons with the overall EQ and mix of my tracks. I'd be interested to hear what your ideas are on that. Let me know what the main mistakes are, because I think overall sometimes things accumulate and the mix gets a bit cloudy and we need more clarity. So maybe there's some EQ tricks you guys have about that and stuff like that. Really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you so much, guys. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And in the meantime, let's get to work on prepping 12 for the final mixdown. So one song at a time until we get into our parallel sequence. Thank you so much, guys. See you soon. You guys rock.